Welcome to the Strategy for Success for pupils sitting their GCSEs in 2021. We're now going to guide you through ways to support your child with their GCSE geography. The Geography Department and myself, Miss Banks, Mrs Dunn and Mrs Peel, we're all here to help, and our contact email addresses are on the screen. In Year 11, the Geography curriculum is part of a 2-year GCSE programme. These are the topics that we need to cover prior to them sitting the exam. Due to the lockdown, we decided to swap the fieldwork component into Year 10 and put rivers and coasts into Year 11, as can be seen in the table below. This allows rivers and coasts to be taught face to face, as there is a high amount of technical vocabulary and key concepts within it. Linked to all of these topics, we conduct formal and in-class assessments throughout. Our formal assessments include an end-of-topic test which assesses knowledge, skills and understanding needed for all 3 papers. Paper 1 is a traditional content-style paper which asks questions based on the content they have studied. This paper has 3 sections, a human topic, a physical topic and an environmental topic. We don't find out in advance what actual topics will be on the papers. Paper 2 is a decision-making paper and again can be based on any topic. This paper requires pupils to use the information provided, but also some of their own knowledge to make an informed decision, which they then need to justify. Paper 3 is based solely on fieldwork techniques. In class, we make sure that we practice and assess higher mark question skills. We do quizzes and questioning to check their content knowledge. We practice and assess the skills that they need to succeed. We'll also be using past papers and their mark schemes to help pupils to improve and so that they understand what the examiner is looking for. To help us to support your child with their learning, you could try some or all of the following ideas. If possible, provide a learning space which is quiet. We are aware everyone learns differently, but it's best not to be distracted. Make sure they give enough time to revise each topic by creating a timetable, and also try to avoid falling into the trap of revising what they already know. It gives you a great feeling if you can answer all the questions right once you've read something, but it's actually a waste of time if you already knew it. Revising what you don't know is hard. And to help, we'll get the pupils to colour code their topics red, amber and green, so that you and they know to revise the red topics first. Doing their homework by themselves helps us to see what knowledge, skills and understanding they can do independently, which is what is measured in the exam. If they do need to get help, it helps us if they write down what they've used. Things like copying and pasting from Google is not a skill tested in the GCSE exam, for example, so doing homework this way doesn't help. To help pupils move knowledge into their long-term memory, we suggest a mixture of formal and experiential ways to revise. Some formal techniques include using our knowledge organisers, or better still, creating their own. Breaking down topics into A3 posters with big bullet points which they can then stick somewhere, that they can see before they go to bed or when they wake up, is helpful because our brains automatically read posters and so they revise whilst they're getting dressed, for example. Change these posters to fit with your revision timetable. Ask your child when they get home from school to explain what they've studied that day. It's quite difficult to be able to verbally explain a concept to someone so that they can understand it, but if you can do this, it makes writing easier. It also shows you and them what gaps they have in their knowledge. Recording their revision, a bit like I am here, onto their phones in audio means they can listen to it during exercises, on the bus, or if only a noisy space is available, for example. You could try to get them to have some experience to make geography more relevant or real to them. Watching documentaries, for example. BBC iPlayer has lots of things like David Attenborough that they could use. If they're a gamer and it's set in a real world, they can link this to geography, such as why are they collecting and using resources, how are the people changing the landscape, or how are they polluting the environment. Well, but one of the best ways is to actually go out and visit places. We don't expect people to be able to take their child to a tropical rainforest, but we can provide pupils with a list of very local and free places that they can visit and ideas of what to look for while they're there. This will also form part of their homework. We're much more likely to put experiences into our long-term memory, so to highlight how easy it is, we used our phone over the weekend to document some geography in action while we were out with our families. I apologise for the sound quality on some of the videos, but we were just trying to get you to understand how easy it was to do, and therefore we just used our phones.
This garden has a southern aspect, so it should be sunny all day, but the trees at the end of the garden mean that they create shade and shelter, which changes the microclimate. At the moment, the trees are losing their leaves, and this has fallen into the soil towards the end of the garden, which is putting the nutrients back in the soil when they decay. This helps the plants and the trees to continue to grow and creates a tiny ecosystem. The weather today is sunny. It's probably about 12 degrees-ish. You'd need a cardigan or a jumper. There are a few cumulus clouds in the sky, but not many. It only covers about 1/8 of the sky. The trees are slightly swaying in the breeze, and therefore it's probably about a 2 on the Beaufort scale. There's no precipitation, it's dry today, so we're currently in a little bit of an anticyclone. This is normal for the British climate at this time of the year.
Example of a leisure facility. There's lots of different activities you can do here. Beautiful green space in the heart of industrial Teesside provides a network of accessible walking and cycling routes, perfect for all the family to enjoy. Television programmes have used the course to investigate flooding and storms, as well as facilitating the training of rescue services in emergency flooding situations. The barrage opens a number of gates which allows water to pass through and avoid risk of flooding. These are the 4 Archimedes screws which we talked about. They're named after a Greek inventor, Archimedes, that generate the water flow around the white water course and also generate power, which is then sold back to the national grid. The barrage also incorporates a fish path, which allows the migration of salmon and river trout further upstream. The water level of the loch can be controlled to allow boats to pass through and head downstream towards the sea. Portrack Marsh Nature Reserve, situated on the banks of the River Tees. The Nature Reserve is an area of land that's been managed to preserve its flora, fauna and physical features.
These are smaller, cheap terraced houses that were built in about the 1880s. They have yards and back alleys. There's no off-street parking because they didn't need it when they were built because nobody had any cars. Most of these are called something suburb area. This has got medium and large size, semi-detached and detached houses and also some bungalows. They all have gardens at the front and the back. These were built in the 1940s and 50s, just as cars were beginning to come popular. This is the outer suburb area. It has modern, medium and large size housing. This is only about 5 years old, but a lot of the outer suburbs have been built since the 1980s. Typical council estate area. They tend to be built round a green or have a green area near them. These were sort of built in the 1950s and were built as council houses, although most of them are probably privately owned now.
This is Teesside Park, an example of a retail park.
Sea Beach is a depositional landscape created by constructive waves dropping the lawn and leaving the shore. The sand's been created by the sea, eroding the headland that you can see in the distance.
Closer to the headland end, you can see the ground sticking out into the water in an attempt to stop the longshore drift from moving the sand too far along the beach. You can see the revenants going up the side towards the sea wall, which is also designed to slow the power of the wave and the force of the water from destroying any more of the coastline. The idea behind this is to protect the town, protect Hartlepool Marina and protect the area of Seaton Carew.
To be effective studying geography, we suggest that your child practices all of their basic skills, such as graph work or map work and comprehension of texts. Although these carry quite low marks, you can get a grade 3 if you just answer all of these correctly. They're quite easy marks to get, but they're the ones that the pupils often lose. If they learn the keywords, they'll know what the question is asking. Keywords fall into 2 categories. Firstly, subject-specific words. So if they make a dictionary of them and learn their meanings, it makes the questions easier to understand. And there's often defined questions near the start of each section. Second type of keyword is the command word for the question, which tells you what the examiner wants. If the question says describe, then say what you see. Don't waste time explaining. You don't get any extra marks for it. Once you've sat paper 1, you'll know what topics have been used. It's rare for a topic to come up on both papers, but concepts often do. So for example, if rivers is in paper 1, then paper 2 will not be about rivers. But if desertification through overuse of water was in paper 1, then the concept of desertification could still come up if paper 2 was about deforestation. The following slide shows places where your child could get any extra help or resources from. We will also use some of these as homework options. They could try using GCSE Pod, Sam Learning, BBC iPlayer, other documentary channels such as National Geographic, GCSE Bite Size, Educas Exam Board website, or get a revision guide. We've used a lot of words of wisdom throughout this, but we'd like to leave you with one final thought, which we feel everyone can achieve. Geography is the study of the world around us, so get your child to put down their phone, get off social media and forget about their own lives for a second. Have them take a look around. All the answers are there, they just have to look properly. Thank you for listening.